Hi guys, well today we've got a bit of a battle on our hands as we're going to be putting two of AMD's latest 5600 XTs against each other in a head-to-head. So we have the XFX THIC3 Ultra and then the Asus ROG Strix Top Edition. Both cards are very similar in terms of what they have to offer, so it'll be interesting to see and weigh up all those different attributes and see those pros and cons. In the XFX camp we have a triple fan THIC3 design which is now well known. This card has a factory overclock applied to just the GPU, whereas the Strix card has a factory overclock applied to both the GPU and the memory. And this one arrives with the triple fan max contact cooler which we've seen before. Now the pricing on both of these cards is actually quite difficult to find in the different regions because they're so new. So for example, you might not be able to find them in the US just at the moment. So please take the pricing just as a guideline. THIC3 Ultra is going to be available for around $280 US, $299 UK and then $500 in Australia. Whereas the Strix card here, this top edition, is going to be available for around $340 US, $370 in the UK and then $629 in Australia. So the Strix card is obviously notably more expensive, something we've come to expect from these guys going off previous releases. So it will be intriguing to see really if that overclock on the memory really has an impact and it's worth that extra cash. So we're going to be checking out both cards in plenty of detail, taking them apart, and then towards the end of the video we're going to be putting them against each other in a head-to-head battle. So enjoy! Before we begin, today's video is brought to you by ASRock's X299 Taichi CLX. Not only does Taichi look great with its unique design, but it takes advantage of a handful of features which include USB 3.2 Gen 2 X2 Type-C, which can deliver up to 20 gig a second for fast data transfer. Wi-Fi 6 is also available, which nudges up that bandwidth beyond that of 802.11ac and is ready for next-gen Wi-Fi devices. And so if you're looking to move to Intel's high-end desktop platform and the new Core X series, this one is worth a look. And for more details, check out that link in the description. Okay, so first up here is the THIC3 Ultra. Now if you've seen our coverage of the 5700, you can quite clearly see there have been a few adjustments here. We still have a triple fan configuration, except this time the shroud and the overall dimensions have been downsized. We no longer have a huge, oversized, bulky design with that chrome detailing. And that shroud on Ultra is plastic and it lacks any RGB lighting. And if we turn to the Strix, there are no surprises here with the design of this card because we've seen it on numerous occasions under both Nvidia and AMD chipsets. And so this is another triple fan arrangement with the max contact cooler. Now the ROG team has definitely tweaked the design here because it is significantly heavier than other Strix cards using the same cooler. And this one here comes with the RGB lighting, which can be controlled by using that onboard switch and customized with the Asus AuraSync software. And later in our video we're going to be going into more detail, pulling both cards apart to see what lies beneath, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so here are both cards side by side for you to get a bit of an idea of how different they are. But as far as the physical dimensions for those wanting those specifics, here they are. So for the length, Ultra is around 310mm, Strix is just under that 310. For the width, Ultra is 116mm, but Strix is just short of 120. And then the height, Ultra is 42mm, whereas Strix is 55mm. And so Ultra is a slightly longer card, but is thinner. So both cards come with a factory overclock applied to the GPU, but the Strix has the added benefit of having the memory clock increased as well. And just like other Navi cards, there is no absolute value for the GPU clock boost. The power limit is what determines the overall range. And so the XFX has the GPU clock boost of up to 1750 and the memory operates at 1500. But the Strix has a GPU clock boost of up to 1770 and the memory runs at 1750, and so quite a bit different there. Other than that, both cards have the same shader units and other attributes that make them the 5600 XT, such as the 6GB of GDDR6, PCI Express 4.0, and support for DirectX 12, OpenGL 4.6, and Vulkan. Now Ultra is a double slotter in terms of the board and case, but the Strix card will stray into a third PCI Express due to the shroud being taller. And on the back panels we have the same video outs, and so we get 3 DisplayPort 1.4, as those can give you the 8K at 60, and we also have one HDMI 2.0 that offers 4K at 60. And of course the support there for FreeSync 2 HDR. Both cards feature the same requirements for the power supply, so you're going to need a 6+8 pin connection, and you'll need a 450 watt power supply as a minimum for these cards. And so both are not that demanding at all. Turning to the back of each card, both the Ultra and Strix feature a metal backplate to add in some protection. There isn't a lot of difference here, except the Ultra has more ventilation and the Strix carries an RGB ROG logo. Okay, so we've taken the coolers off our cards and now we're going to check them out in more detail. And so starting with Ultra, we have those triple fans, two of which are 90mm and the middle one there is 100mm. Both of those have the 0 decibel technology, meaning that they're going to stop spinning when idle. With the Strix, we again have those 3 fans. Those are the Axial Tech models. All are 90mm, and again those are going to stop spinning when the system is under that light load. Turning to the heatsinks, the Ultra features a double heatsink with 6 copper heat pipes. You can see that heatsink is actually quite a thin design, and so it's going to be interesting to see how that performs later on. It is important to note that XFX has tweaked the design of the shroud compared to the previous generations to allow that airflow to pass out the sides. This cooler has full VRAM coverage with copper construction. The Strix unit has a huge one-piece heatsink with 6 copper heat pipes. This particular design here features a reinforced frame which provides that coverage for VRAM. And so be sure to stick around to the end of the video as we're going to be comparing how effective these solutions are. Having the heatsink removed means that we can also get a good view of how each manufacturer has designed their cards. Ultra features an 8-phase design, whereas Strix features a 10+2 phase design with Super Alloy 2 components. The process for producing this board is fully automated using Auto Extreme. The driving force behind both our 5600 XTs is the Navi 10 XLE GPU, which carries through that 7nm process and the RDNA technology. Both cards are designed for 1080 at ultra detail, and so with either of these you're going to be able to max out on the eye candy at that resolution. So with the rundown out of the way, let's now check out the performance of both our cards. And instead of just sticking up some graphs and talking about them, we're going to show you actual performance side by side. And for this we're going to use 1080 and the maximum detail preset in each game. Now if you want more games comparison and more cards added to the mix, check out that web review on Vortez.net. Okay, and if we just come out of our last game, let's see the max temperature results. And there we have it. Okay, well that is the end of our video where we've been taking a look at the XFX 5600 XT THIC3 Ultra and then the Asus ROG Strix 5600 XT Top. Now in some ways these cards are quite similar, but in other ways completely different. Styling is obviously quite a subjective thing, but personally I lean more towards the XFX card. I just like how it adopts that simple aesthetic and it has that refined look. However, if you do prefer something with a bigger impact, more aggressive, and of course bringing in that RGB lighting, then the Strix is a good choice. Now both cards are huge in size, but be aware that the Strix is slightly bigger, definitely heavier card compared to the Ultra. Now in terms of outright performance in games, both cards perform very well. There's only marginal differences. Where you are going to see a significant variance is in the cooling ability. In the teardown you could quite clearly see how the Ultra is got that thin heatsink compared to what the Strix uses, and this appears to have a huge bearing on the thermals. Asus are just on a completely different level altogether with their solution. And to verify the temps on the Strix card, we left The Witcher 3 running for well over an hour, and the temperatures didn't stray over 55 degrees. Which is phenomenal. Now both cards are very quiet under load in their performance profile, so it is really hard to separate which one is the winner out of the two on noise. But when it comes to value, this is where there is a notable difference. Ultra is considerably cheaper than this top edition here of Strix, and so that begs the question, is the Strix card worth that extra cash? Well, the main benefit that you're going to see is in those lower temperatures, but then in the Ultra, they aren't necessarily bad, those temperatures, are they, when you look at them? And the Strix card does have that RGB lighting, some extras there like Fan Connect 2 headers at the end of the card, but personally I think the XFX card is a slightly better buy overall. What do you guys think? Let me know in the top right corner by casting your vote. A big thanks to you guys for watching today. Please like this video, as that really does help. Be sure to keep an eye out for those web reviews for either of these cards, which will feature greater comparison. Links to those will be on screen and in the description very soon. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing with those notifications enabled so you know when our next video comes up. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.